Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the other side of Rock Bottom. I'm your host, Kathy, and today I'm excited to introduce Brittany. She's here to share her powerful story of addiction, recovery, and hope. Guys, our mission here is to remind you that no matter how far down we go, there is life on the other side of rock bottom. And Brittany is living proof of that. So let's dive in. Good evening, Brittany. Thanks for being here, honey.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's start at the literal beginning. Tell me what life was like when you were growing up.
Very chaotic. Um, I have a my dad was an alcoholic, so life was very chaotic. Ups and downs. Never knew what you were gonna come into or walking around on eggshells, that type of thing.
Ah, sorry about that. What were some of the challenges that you faced early on?
Um, I'm not really sure how to answer that. I'm not sure how to answer that.
Okay,
I'm
well,
sorry.
let me rephrase it then. When you look back, do you see any early signs that might have pointed you toward addiction?
Absolutely. I remember my first addiction was food. I remember, like being after everybody got done with supper, I would go back in to the kitchen and, just eat. And I wanted to do it in private because I knew people would, my family would say something if they seen me eating the way that I was eating.
So when did drugs become a part of your life or alcohol?
Um, there's a lot that I'm still trying to piece together. Like there's a big portion of my life that I have like really blocked out. But I remember me and my cousin, we were 11 or 12, maybe possibly 10 to 12 when we first tried alcohol, which obviously my mom caught us, but that was my earliest memories of alcohol.
What do you remember about those first experiences?
Um, That one, I was obviously nervous. I grew up around alcohol. I seen how alcohol changed people and made them literal monsters most of the time. I seen how, with some people it made them funnier or, like not on edge. So I don't really remember. I don't think I really got drunk that time because I think it was intervened. Um, yeah.
Okay, so at what point did it start becoming more than just experimenting?
I would say about 17 or 18 years old, maybe even 16, I'd started having some like nerve problems with my hands, and I went to the doctor and they put me on Neurotins, and I thought that was like the best thing, and it just like gradually grew from there. It went to pain pills and went to, but that's my earliest memories of that.
Okay. All right. So, about when would you say addiction kind of took hold and what did it look like for you?
Well, I got pregnant at 18 and I did not know anything about withdrawals. I did not know anything about addiction. I mean, I grew up seeing my dad drink alcohol and, him not being able to control it and acting all crazy. But like, I didn't know that, I didn't know much about addiction. And I remember when I found out that I was pregnant with my boys, um, I remember like could not sleep at night. I remember like my skin, like my legs aching, and like I did not know that's what it was. As soon as I had them, of course they give you. I had a C-section, and they give you pain pills, and my boys were born 12 weeks early, so they were left at the hospital, and they sent me home with a bottle of pills, and you know fresh out of all of that, and they had to stay in the NICU for a month. So, like I just went head first. I mean, I remember calling them in no time and asking for more pain pills, and they gave me more pain pills.
Wow. So, how did that ultimately affect your relationships, your health, and your sense of self?
Um, every way possible that, it affected really every part of my life, every aspect of my life.
Okay. All right. Was there a specific rock bottom moment where you realized something had to change, or was it a series of moments?
There was a series over time. One of them was in 2015. So my boys were about 2 years old. Me and their dad got arrested, and I had a possession charge. And, like I remember calling my mom in the middle of the night. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and, telling her, "Hey, can you take my kids to my granny's house? Um, because I'm getting arrested." And I didn't know what that was going to look like. And I remember being in jail crying the whole time because I was in there by myself. And like this can't be life. Like there's got to be more. I'm going to get out, and I'm not going to touch them anymore. By that time I had went from pain pills to I started doing perk 30s, and then went to Suboxone. And Suboxone was, like one of my big drugs of choice. And I remember when I got out, I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And I even told my mom, like, I'm not going to do anymore. And by that evening, I could not help but to do it. But still, I did not know at that time that I was like really addicted. Um, Another rock bottom moment was me and my now husband. We were out drinking, and see, I always had a thing with, oh, I'm not an addict, I'm not an alcoholic, like it's one or the other. But that's not how it was in my case anyway. So I remember being out drinking, and I woke up in the hospital intubated, and like they had to tie me down. Now what I woke up, and my mom had just had a procedure the night before, and or yeah, the night before, the night of this incident. And I decided, for whatever reason, I was going to go out drinking. And I woke up in the hospital, and she come up to me and said, what do you remember? And I'm like, I mean, I didn't know what had happened. I didn't know if I hurt somebody, if I killed somebody. I had a little cousin to die when I was young from his dad drinking and driving. So it, like instant panic kicked in. And, from then I kind of quit drinking because I was like, oh, that's not my, I was able to quit one, but not the other. It was one or
Right.
the other. So at that point I kind of quit drinking. But it did not, and I got a DUI from that, lost my license. That was back in 2019. So there's been a series of events.
Okay. So, what was the moment, event, or realization that finally pushed you toward recovery?
Um, it was more of just a realization, just like, there had been times that I had little spouts of time that I was abstinent, we'll say, not really clean. But I come to the point where I was like, there has got to be more than this to life. There has to be more. Like, I know I was not born or put on this earth to be a drug addict. I was not
Mhm.
born or put on this earth to be addicted to anything. Like, that's not how God wants you to live your life. And I knew I had to change. Like, I knew there had to be something more, and I was going to find whatever that was.
You just made a very good distinction. You said I was dry or abstinent, right?
Hmm.
There is a difference between not drinking or not using and being in recovery. How would you explain that to people today?
Back then I would just I didn't have the drugs or alcohol in my system, but now today I work a program I'm working on me. I'm working on the things um that make me want to go get drunk or high. Like we really work on them things. Um it just there's a big difference.
There is. So, when you first got sober at that time, did you have support or did you have to start alone?
Um I had to kind of start alone. I mean, my husband had been in recovery, but I didn't know where to turn. I didn't know, nobody in my family had really um been to rehab. Like I knew all them times that I knew I wanted to stop, like I kept making up excuses on why I could not go to rehab. Um, but I've eventually found a group of women that, were there to help support me. But other than that, I didn't know where to turn to.
Right. Okay. So, what were the first days, weeks, and months like in recovery for you? Because you've got 2 years now, right?
Absolutely, yes. Um, it was, I don't know. I don't want to say it was hard because yes, it was hard. But I mean, looking back now, obviously everything that I went through was worth it. But it was tough in the beginning, but I knew that I had to pick my heart. Do I want to work on me and get clean and sober and work this recovery, go this recovery journey, or did I want to stay stuck in that place and getting high every single day and like just living in that insanity day in and day out, waking up feeling like crap?
Yeah. All right. So today, what are some things you do? What tools, programs, or people have been most helpful in your recovery?
Um, some of my family, helping involve recovery. That's a very big um piece, and you like the coaching that you helped me do. I mean that's when I feel like I've really started to recover. Like that's when my recovery journey really started.
Okay. All right. So, how has recovery changed your life compared to what it was like before?
Everything. I was always the functioning addict and alcoholic. Like I would always get up and go to work. I never lost my kids. But with that being said, today I'm present with my kids. I'm not just, or I'm actually with them. I'm interacting with them. I'm conversating with them. Like I'm not just there. Like I'm not just a shell of a human. I can show up for everybody. I'm a loyal person now. Like I'm early to things, like sometimes extremely early. Like I was always late to everything.
Okay. So, what does your life look like today in recovery? How would you describe it?
Beautiful. I mean, compared to what my life was like before, it's beautiful. Like unless you've been there, you don't really understand. But some of the normal things that people should do or shouldn't do, it's very exciting to addicts and alcoholics.
It
Like
is.
we really have. I mean, it's a big deal.
Okay. So, what are some things that you can do now in recovery that you never thought possible before?
I don't know. Um, I'm still learning my way around. Like I'm just now starting to really come out of my shell. Um, I don't know that because, like I said, I was always a functioning addict alcoholic. Like really not sure how to answer that.
Okay. So, let me ask you this. If you could go back and talk to Brittany 2 years ago when she was struggling, what would you say to her today?
You can do this. You are absolutely worth this. Um, just keep pushing, keep putting one foot in front of the other, and each step you will cover some ground.
There you go. So I do want to acknowledge and celebrate with you the fact that just a few days ago you celebrated that 2-year anniversary. So congratulations for that.
Thank you.
But I also want to leave room for something I know that is special for you. And I just want you to be open and feel free to discuss the loss of your brother and how that has impacted you.
Yeah, I lost my brother. I had 1 year and 16 days sober, and I lost my brother to addiction. He passed away 9/24/24, and I was the one that found him. Um, it it has affected me in ways that I never thought was possible. But it's affected me in ways that I never thought was possible, but also has pushed me in ways that I never thought was possible too. Um, like before he passed away, I was one of them closeted, I guess you could say, addicts. Like, not a whole lot of people knew. Like, I was high functioning, like I was still able to keep a job and, this and that. So not many people knew. I mean, yes, I got arrested for possession. I got a DUI, but like them were 2015 and 2019. Not many people knew about my journey with addiction. And I felt like it was hard to come out about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it wasn't very public. But after losing my brother, I feel like I need to let everyone know that it's possible. It would do a disservice to my brother if I did not speak out about, recovery and how it is possible. Like, you can recover. My brother was very unfortunate, but here I am today recovering, like that's a big deal.
I'm sorry for your loss. I know that's hard, especially to addiction. And you said you had just right at a year when he passed. It's amazing that you were able to hang on to your sobriety, and I'm really proud of you for that. So before we get off of here, there is one question I always ask everybody. All right. Somebody watching tonight needs to hear your story. Somebody is at their rock bottom. What would you say to them?
Please don't give up. Get the help that you need. Your I mean, you deserve it, absolutely, but your family deserves it too. It's not just you alone in this addiction. Your whole family is in it. Your whole family is affected by it. Your whole family is affected by it if you were, either way. But you're worth it. Stick with it. Do something about it.
Perfectly said, my friend. Brittany, thank you so much for being here and for sharing your heart with us today. Your story is going to inspire so many people who may feel like they've gone too far, when really there's always hope. So, to anybody watching or listening, if Brittany's story has spoken to you, remember you're not alone and recovery is possible. There is life, joy, and freedom waiting for you on the other side of rock bottom. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and share so that others can hear these stories of hope. If you'd like to connect, join us at the Other Side of Rock Bottom community on Facebook. We'd love to have you. Until next time, keep the faith and keep moving forward.
Are you terrified to face tomorrow? Some mornings feel impossible. But even in the darkest moments, hope is closer than you think. You're not alone. There's hope. Written by Simmons, a certified recovery coach. Welcome to Recovery is your powerful guide to reclaiming your life. With real stories, practical tools, and compassionate insight, this book lights the way, one page at a time. Whether you're beginning, recommitting, or supporting someone through recovery, find hope, clarity, and strength within these pages. Step into your new chapter. Welcome to Recovery. Take the first step. Get your copy of Welcome to Recovery today and begin your journey to hope.